Here's your wrestling news for November 21st, 2020, and your headlines for today include 2 instances of illogical and silly booking before Survivor Series go-home show. Blame seemingly passed once again on who backed WWE's third-party ban. Main event star now working as Amazon delivery driver. Contestant on John Cena's new show Wipeout unfortunately passed away. $39 million class action lawsuit concerning Saudi Arabia deal comes back to WWE. WWE fires another top talent from the company. How humiliated Zelina Vega felt when she was escorted out from WWE is revealed. Impact Wrestling almost brought big opponent in to face Ken Shamrock. The Undertaker and Snoop Dogg collaborate, joins TikTok, and more. We're starting off today with Smackdown as the final members of the men's and women's Survivor Series teams have been decided. Though it was previously reported that WWE was going to put Big E on the team, that didn't happen, and Adam Pearce got to pick a participant for both the men's and women's teams. For the men's final member, Pearce picked Otis, who will join Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Seth Rollins, and will face Raw's AJ Styles, Sheamus, Keith Lee, Riddle, and Braun Strowman. For the women's team, Pearce chose Bayley as the 4th member, and Natalya wasn't pleased about having to face Tamina in the last qualifier, but she got the win, making her the 5th member of the group, and now she, Bayley, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Bianca Belair will face Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Lana, Peyton Royce, and Lacey Evans. Though Natalya was pleased with her result, we're sure she wasn't thrilled with Pearce's comments, as he said he only gets to pick one member for Team Raw and SmackDown, a clear lie given he selected all members in the Raw women's team not too long ago. It's also strange that Otis was chosen despite losing the Money in the Bank briefcase to The Miz and his qualifier to Seth Rollins over someone who'd be more suitable in the role. Big E is supposed to be in the midst of a career-defining singles push, but that hasn't materialized, while Stephen Dominic Mysterio would have been a better choice given his chemistry with Rollins, the self-appointed captain of Team SmackDown. Whatever the case, Survivor Series is just over 24 hours away, and with both teams decided, time will tell who emerges victorious in the battle for brand supremacy. This week's show saw Sami Zayn in action, and despite being the Intercontinental Champion, the company certainly aren't treating him as a top star. Taking the pin on the go-home show for Survivor Series, there's been no build to this Sunday's match against US Champion Bobby Lashley, which is rumored to be a squash in the Almighty's favor. The pairing of King Corbin and Zayn was also weird, especially as the men protested that they're not a tag team unit. With there being no build to Survivor Series, it's likely Zayn will be in a feud with Daniel Bryan after the show from the way things shaped up this week, and the only positive thing from this whole debacle was Big E recognizing Xavier Woods as the most underrated performer in WWE. Now, WWE's recent rule against third-party deals has been unpopular to say the least, and backlash at the new rule has only grown since Zelina Vega's release last week for refusing to deactivate her OnlyFans account. Now we know who's responsible for the rule, as according to a report by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the rule was backed by a couple of high-ranking company executives, namely Brad Blum and Bruce Pritchard. Despite being a supporter of the rule and one of the key names behind it, Pritchard was able to keep his own podcast as part of his agreement to return to WWE, and one source close to the situation noted, "This isn't a case of Bruce being allowed to keep his podcast, he negotiated it as part of his deal to come back to the company. To think he wouldn't want others to have outside opportunities is silly. Styles and others could have negotiated their Twitch presence and other third parties during their re-signing negotiations. Though stars like AJ Styles could have negotiated about their Twitch accounts, WWE's new rule is very recent, and we doubt any superstar could have had the foresight to know what the company was going to do when they were inking out a new deal. Whatever the case, WWE's rule continues to grow more and more unpopular, and we'll keep you viewers informed if there's any updates. Indie news next, as independent wrestling has practically dried up due to the ongoing global situation, and even Sam Adonis has been affected. The brother of Corey Graves, Adonis is now working as an Amazon delivery driver due to there being so few dates in the ring. In the ring, Adonis plays a pro-Trump heel who came under fire in 2018 for using slurs against gay people and the mentally challenged, comments that got him banned from Revolution Pro Wrestling. With there being so few indie dates available, we can't fault Adonis for finding another way to make ends meet, and it's certainly a reflection of how this terrible time has affected so many. We've got some sad news to report as a contestant on John Cena's new show Wipeout has died. TMZ are reporting that the man was suffering chest pains after completing one of the courses and was treated on site until paramedics arrived. He was later taken to the hospital and suffered cardiac arrest, but sadly died. The show has safeguards and precautions in place on their set, with every contestant undergoing medical exams before participating. This is a tragic event, and our thoughts go out to everyone involved in this awful situation. Now, it wasn't too long ago that WWE found themselves in a lawsuit from the city of Warren, Michigan's police and fire retirement system, as the pension fund was alleging misconduct concerning WWE's dealings with Saudi Arabia. Now, though, this lawsuit has been settled according to a WWE announcement after the original suit was filed in March. Dave Meltzer noted on Twitter how WWE dealt with the situation, saying, "The WWE just settled the Saudi Arabia lawsuit out of court for $39 million. There were multiple lawsuits filed against WWE regarding shareholders being misled on relations with Saudi Arabia and what happened when the flight coming back was delayed. WWE settled out of court." WWE noted in the press release that the company believes that resolving the matter is the right business decision and that it is prudent to end the protracted and uncertain class action process. The lawsuit claimed that WWE execs sold over $280 million worth of shares at fraud-inflated prices and claimed that WWE willingly withheld information concerning their deal with Saudi Arabia to investors. Now the matter is resolved, though it certainly cost WWE quite a bit to do so, and we'll have to see how the company's deal with Saudi Arabia goes from here and when they'll be able to return. More from WWE's corporate side next, as the company filed John Brody from the company, and now another name has been let go from their executive team. According to PW Insider, WWE has released Brian Nurse, who worked as their senior vice president, general counsel, and secretary since 2019. When he got the job, WWE's statement said Nurse would be, quote, "a key member of WWE's senior leadership team who'd report directly to Vince McMahon." Nurse's responsibilities included overseeing legal affairs of the company, including offering legal advice to McMahon, the CEOs, the co-presidents, and others from the management department of WWE. It's unknown if more releases are expected on the corporate level, but it's possible that WWE is not done releasing top executives. Nurse and Brody aren't the only notable names to be gone from WWE, as Mark Cowell has been replaced as the company's comptroller and principal accounting officer. Cowell had been with WWE for 19 years, but has now been replaced by Karen Mullane, who comes with a background in the top levels of CreateMe Technologies, SeatGeek, SoulCycle, and Etsy. Given the ongoing situation, we doubt these will be the last hirings and firings for WWE this year, and we'll keep monitoring the situation if any more changes are made. Speaking of firing, it's been just over a week since Zelina Vega was fired from WWE, and whilst the former superstar was a staple of the company for several years, her actual final moments in WWE were particularly rough. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Mark Carrano informed Vega of her release backstage shortly before the November 13th Smackdown, and when she asked to speak to Vince McMahon about the matter, Vega was told he doesn't want to talk. Not only that, but Vega was also escorted out of the Amway Center, presumably by security, without ever getting to plead her case to the chairman. Though it was certainly an unfair way for Vega's final moments in the Thunderdome to go down, it's possible she had the last laugh, as now WWE's practices are being condemned by some pretty significant people, and we'll have to see what changes WWE makes, if any, in the years to come. Over to Impact Wrestling now, as the company tried to bring back Kurt Angle for a return bout at Bound for Glory, which didn't pan out, but he's not the only name the company wanted. The Wrestling Observer newsletter are reporting that Chael Sonnen had discussions about joining Impact for a feud against Ken Shamrock, though ultimately decided against it, and we can't help but wonder what the retired MMA fighter turned analyst could have done in the ring with the Impact Hall of Famer. More Undertaker news, as he's formed a close bond with Vince McMahon over the past 3 decades, but that doesn't mean they've always been on the same page. In a recent interview with Sports Illustrated Media podcast, the Phenom spoke about how the pair disagreed over the Punjabi prison match from Great American Bash 2006. He said, I don't remember all the details to it, but it centered around the first Punjabi prison match, and he was just steadfast in how, because the Great Khali wasn't able to do it, so Big Show ended up being in the match, and he was just steadfast that he wanted this bump through the door. And I kept telling him, I said, this is gonna look like crap and ain't gonna work the way you see it. I've been on this thing, this structure all day. It's just not gonna happen that way. Oh, it'll be great, it'll be great. I'm telling you, it's gonna suck. Sure enough, the finish, which saw Big Show break the bamboo wall down, accidentally giving Undertaker the win, did not go down well with fans. And given that the match wasn't even meant to feature the Big Show in the first place, it was only the latest part of the Punjabi prison match that didn't go to plan. Back to the ring now, and whilst The Undertaker has worked with some odd choices in the past, from Heidenreich to his own doppelganger, this recent pairing for the dead man may be the strangest of them all. In order to celebrate this Sunday's final farewell, the Phenom has partnered with Snoop Dogg to create a line of clothing, featuring both their names in different designs. It's quite an interesting pairing given that Snoop and The Undertaker have never worked together before, but it's clear that the Dogg is one of the many millions who are fans of the Phenom. This new line will include 8 t-shirts, a long-sleeve hoodie, a beanie, and a poster, and the new line of merchandise is available to purchase now. One person who knows the dead man well is Stephanie McMahon, and now the company's chief brand officer has spoke about working with The Undertaker. On social media, Stephanie reflected on sharing the screen with the Phenom, saying, "It's been an absolute honor and a privilege getting to share time and memories with Undertaker in and out of the ring over the last 30 years. Congratulations on an incredible career. #Undertaker30. Fans will remember the pair worked closely on screen together between 2002 and 2003 when Stephanie was the general manager of Smackdown, and it's clear that the billion-dollar princess hasn't forgotten those times either. Stephanie is just the latest name to praise the dead man ahead of the final farewell this Sunday at Survivor Series, and we're sure the company has a celebration ready, fitting of the Phenom. And we're ending today with even more Undertaker news, as the dead man himself is now on TikTok. This news, followed by the news of him joining Cameo, seemingly gives more confirmation that he's done as an in-ring competitor, as he's been saying this week he feels like he's had his last match. The dead man didn't waste time in posting to the platform, and in his first video, Taker's wife, Michelle McCool, imitated his legendary sit-up. TikTok also created the hashtag Undertaker Challenge, daring users to try and recreate the sit-up, and we'll have to see how many people literally rise to the occasion.